Human Spock in Star Trek. Strange New Worlds Season 2 was set up by the Vulcan Season 1 nightmare. In Star Trek, Strange New Worlds Season 2, fans were treated to a rare and emotionally complex version of Spock, one that leaned heavily into his human side. For a character who has always been defined by his struggle between logic and emotion, this development was both bold and deeply personal. But what many viewers may not realize is that the seeds of this transformation were planted much earlier. In fact, Spock's journey toward embracing his humanity in Season 2 was directly foreshadowed by his haunting dream sequence in Season 1, a nightmare that offered a surreal, symbolic warning of the identity crisis to come. The dream that started it all. In Strange New Worlds Season 1, Episode 1 Strange New Worlds, Spock dreams of his wedding to T'Pring, only for it to be violently interrupted by Romulan warriors and then take a turn toward a surreal Vulcan duel. The nightmare ends with Spock looking down at his own body, horrified to discover that his Vulcan ears are gone, replaced by ordinary human ones. This moment was jarring and powerful. It symbolized Spock's deepest fear, losing the Vulcan half of himself, the part he works so hard to control and uphold. The loss of his ears, a signature of his Vulcan identity, was not just a visual gag or a nod to canon, it was a prophecy. It revealed the inner turmoil Spock harbored about whether he would ever truly belong to either of his two worlds. While viewers at the time may have interpreted it as an isolated moment of anxiety, this dream actually set the psychological foundation for everything Spock would go through in Season 2. Season 2. When the nightmare becomes reality. By Season 2, that nightmare began to come true, literally and metaphorically. In the episode Charades, Spock is injured during a mission involving a trans-dimensional alien race, and his Vulcan DNA is removed, effectively making him fully human. Suddenly, Spock is no longer split between two worlds. He is all human, and all the confusion, emotion, and awkwardness that come with it hit him like a wave. This transformation turns what was once a deeply buried fear into a reality he must navigate. The emotional whiplash Spock experiences, his inability to regulate his feelings, his awkward interactions with his crewmates, and his budding human relationship with Nurse Chapel feel like a direct echo of that symbolic nightmare. Season 1 warned him what it would feel like to lose his Vulcan self. Season 2 forces him to live it. Embracing humanity by force. What's most fascinating is that Spock's transition into a fully human character is not something he chose. It's imposed on him, and that's what makes it so compelling. Spock is a character who has always been defined by control, discipline, and choice. He chooses to follow Vulcan logic. He chooses to repress his emotions. But here, that control is stripped away, and we get to see the raw, unfiltered version of Spock. That enforced humanity doesn't just serve as a comedic subplot. It's an emotional exploration of who Spock really is underneath the logic. And in many ways, it allows him to better understand his human side, not by rejecting Vulcan culture, but by experiencing life without it. Through this lens, Spock grows. He learns that being human isn't a weakness, but a part of himself that deserves acknowledgement and compassion. T'Pring, Chapel, and the collision of worlds. This identity crisis also complicates Spock's relationships, especially with T'Pring and Chapel. The dream in Season 1 revolved around his impending marriage to T'Pring, a symbol of his Vulcan obligations. But in Season 2, as Spock grows closer to Chapel during his human phase, that bond threatens to unravel his Vulcan future. It's not just about romantic tension, it's about emotional authenticity. Spock's experience as a human makes him realize that his feelings for Chapel are real, messy, and deeply rooted in his human side. That would never have been possible without the experience that the dream foreshadowed. Just as his nightmare warned of the instability between his two halves, his real-life experience forces him to confront the impossibility of maintaining both relationships without betraying one part of himself. From nightmare to catharsis. The brilliance of Strange New Worlds lies in how it uses continuity and character development to enrich its storytelling. Spock's nightmare wasn't just dream logic or a quirky character beat. It was a manifestation of his inner fears, a roadmap for the emotional journey to come. By the time Sai isn't the same man who woke from that,